The Amazon rainforest, often referred to as the lungs of the earth, is one of the most biodiverse and significant ecosystems on the planet. Spanning over 5.5 million square kilometers across 9 countries in South America, Brazil, Peru, Colombia, Venezuela, Ecuador, Bolivia, Guyana, Suriname, and French Guiana, the Amazon is not only a critical component of the Earth's environmental balance but also a cultural and historical treasure trove. This essay explores the history, ecology, importance, and threats facing the Amazon rainforest. Ancient inhabitants and civilizations. Long before European explorers arrived in South America, the Amazon was home to numerous indigenous communities. Archaeological evidence suggests that humans have inhabited the Amazon basin for at least 11,000 years. These early inhabitants developed sophisticated agricultural techniques, such as terra preta, Amazonian dark earth, which allowed them to cultivate the land sustainably. The inhabitants practiced a form of agroforestry, cultivating diverse crops and utilizing the forest resources without causing widespread deforestation. Some of the most notable pre-Columbian civilizations include the Marajora culture, known for its complex ceramics and mound building, and the Tapajos, who established large settlements along the Tapajos River. These societies thrived in the rainforest, creating extensive networks of roads, causeways, and earthworks, demonstrating that the Amazon was not an untouched wilderness but a region actively managed by its indigenous inhabitants. European exploration and colonization. The first European to explore the Amazon River was the Spanish explorer Francisco de Orellana in 1542. His expedition, which traversed the entire length of the river from the Andes to the Atlantic Ocean, was marked by conflict with indigenous communities and harrowing encounters with the region's formidable wildlife. Orellana's accounts of fierce warrior women, who he compared to the Amazons of Greek mythology, led to the naming of the river and the surrounding rainforest. The arrival of Europeans brought profound changes to the Amazon, including the introduction of new diseases, which decimated indigenous populations. The rubber boom of the late 19th and early 20th centuries further disrupted the region, as rubber barons exploited the land and people to extract latex from rubber trees. This period was marked by intense violence, forced labor, and environmental destruction. Biodiversity. The Amazon rainforest is home to approximately 10% of the world's known species, making it one of the most biodiverse places on Earth. It harbors over 40,000 plant species, 1,300 bird species, 3,000 types of fish, 427 mammals, and 2.5 million different insects. Iconic animals like jaguars, sloths, harpy eagles, and pink river dolphins call the Amazon home, alongside countless lesser-known but equally remarkable creatures. The rainforest's biodiversity is not evenly distributed. Instead, it is characterized by biodiversity hotspots where species richness is particularly high. These hotspots are influenced by factors such as soil fertility, altitude, and the availability of water. The complex interplay of these elements creates a mosaic of habitats, from flooded forests, Barzia, and blackwater forests, Agapo, to terra firme, which remains above flood levels year-round. The carbon and water cycle. The Amazon plays a crucial role in the global carbon cycle, acting as a carbon sink that absorbs vast amounts of CO2 from the atmosphere. It is estimated that the rainforest stores between 80 and 120 billion metric tons of carbon, helping to mitigate the effects of climate change. However, deforestation and degradation are compromising this capacity, releasing stored carbon back into the atmosphere and contributing to global warming. The rainforest also influences the global water cycle. It generates an enormous amount of water vapor through a process known as transpiration, where trees release water from their leaves into the atmosphere. This vapor contributes to the formation of rain clouds, not only sustaining the rainforest itself but also affecting weather patterns across South America. The so-called flying rivers of the Amazon, airborne streams of water vapor, play a vital role in providing rainfall for regions far beyond the rainforest's boundaries. Indigenous communities. The Amazon is home to an estimated 400 indigenous tribes, each with its own unique language, culture, and traditions. These communities have developed a profound understanding of the rainforest, using its resources for food, medicine, and shelter in ways that are sustainable and respectful of the environment. Many indigenous peoples, such as the Yanomami, Kayapo, and Ashaninka, have been instrumental in preserving the rainforest through their traditional practices and resistance to external pressures. However, indigenous communities face significant challenges, including land encroachment, illegal logging, and mining. Despite legal protections, many tribes struggle to secure their land rights and are often caught in the crossfire of conflicts between conservation efforts and economic exploitation. The impact of modern development. In recent decades, the Amazon has become increasingly threatened by activities such as deforestation, agriculture, mining, and infrastructure development. The construction of highways and dams has opened previously inaccessible areas to logging, farming, and settlement, leading to widespread habitat loss and fragmentation. The expansion of soy and cattle farming, driven by global demand, has been particularly destructive, with vast tracts of forest cleared to make way for agricultural land. These activities not only disrupt the lives of indigenous peoples but also contribute to the erosion of their cultural heritage. Many tribes are losing access to traditional lands and resources, which are integral to their identity and way of life. Deforestation and habitat loss. Deforestation is the most significant threat facing the Amazon rainforest. Since the 1970s, an area larger than the size of France has been cleared, primarily for cattle ranching and agriculture. The Brazilian Amazon, which contains about 60% of the entire rainforest, has experienced the highest rates of deforestation, driven by government policies promoting land development and agribusiness. The loss of trees not only reduces biodiversity but also disrupts the water cycle, leading to reduced rainfall and longer dry seasons. This can create a feedback loop, where a drier climate makes the forest more vulnerable to fires, which in turn release more carbon into the atmosphere and further exacerbate climate change. Climate change. Climate change poses a long-term threat to the Amazon, altering precipitation patterns and increasing temperatures. The rainforest is already experiencing more frequent and severe droughts, which weaken trees and make them more susceptible to pests and diseases. If the trend continues, large parts of the Amazon could transition from rainforest to savanna, a process known as savanization. This shift would have catastrophic consequences for global biodiversity and climate. Fires. Fires, often intentionally set to clear land for agriculture, are becoming more common in the Amazon. In 2019, the world was shocked by images of vast swaths of the rainforest engulfed in flames. These fires, exacerbated by drought and human activities, are particularly destructive because the Amazon, unlike other ecosystems, is not adapted to regular fire cycles. Even a single fire can cause long-term damage to the delicate rainforest ecosystem, killing trees and reducing biodiversity. International and local initiatives. Efforts to protect the Amazon are underway at both local and international levels. Organizations like the World Wildlife Fund, WWF, and the Rainforest Alliance work with governments, indigenous communities, and local NGOs to promote sustainable land use, reforestation, and conservation. These initiatives include creating protected areas, supporting sustainable agriculture, and combating illegal logging and mining. One of the most ambitious conservation projects is the Amazon Region Protected Areas Program, ARPA, launched by the Brazilian government with international support. ARPA aims to protect 150 million acres of rainforest through the establishment of reserves and national parks. This initiative has been successful in reducing deforestation rates in protected areas, but challenges remain, particularly in enforcing laws and managing conflicts with local communities and industries. Indigenous rights and land management. Empowering indigenous communities is a crucial component of Amazon conservation. Indigenous territories cover about a quarter of the Amazon, and these areas have significantly lower deforestation rates compared to unprotected land. Strengthening the land rights of indigenous peoples, supporting their sustainable practices, and involving them in decision-making processes are essential strategies for preserving the rainforest. Innovative approaches, such as community-based monitoring and the use of technology to document land use changes, are helping indigenous groups protect their territories. However, these efforts must be supported by robust legal frameworks and political will to be effective. Balancing development and conservation. The Amazon is at a crossroads, where the need for economic development must be balanced with the imperative to preserve one of the planet's most vital ecosystems. Sustainable development strategies, such as agroforestry, ecotourism, and non-timber forest products, like Brazil nuts and acai, offer pathways for generating income without destroying the forest. Encouraging sustainable practices, reducing subsidies for destructive industries, and implementing more stringent environmental regulations are essential steps for safeguarding the Amazon's future. The global responsibility. The fate of the Amazon is not just a local or regional issue but a global one. The rainforest's health is intrinsically linked to the global climate, and its destruction would have far-reaching consequences for the entire planet. As such, there is a moral imperative for the international community to support conservation efforts, reduce carbon emissions, and promote sustainable consumption patterns that do not contribute to deforestation. The Amazon rainforest is a unique and irreplaceable treasure, representing the pinnacle of biodiversity and a crucial component of the Earth's environmental balance. Its history, stretching from ancient civilizations to modern challenges, reflects the complex interplay between humans and nature. As we look to the future, the choices we make today will determine whether the Amazon continues to thrive as a vibrant, life-sustaining ecosystem or succumbs to the pressures of development and environmental degradation. Protecting the Amazon is not just about preserving a natural wonder, it is about safeguarding the health of our planet and the well-being of future generations. By valuing the rainforest for more than just its resources, we can begin to chart a path towards a more sustainable and harmonious relationship with the natural world.